Good afternoon. I'm your host, Ashley White. Allow me to welcome you to the 2018 spring season of The Scoop, live from Saddleback College. On today's show, we will discover how film encourages creative expression throughout Orange County. We'll be getting an inside look on an LA-based production company, Stranger Magic Productions, as well as visiting the film department at the Laguna Hills-based school, New Vista. Subsequently, we're going to explore how a Saddleback program is enriching our communities by bringing awareness to local and global issues that we face collectively. Next, joining us for an interview will be Dean Cadence Winter. After that, we're going to hear from a Saddleback student filmmaker, and lastly, enjoy a musical performance by Donovan Raitt. Now, it's time to go pay a visit to Stranger Magic Productions.
There has always been a shortage of minorities in film, and one production company wants to change that. Enter Yunma Khan and Nita Chowdhury, two female producers and directors who want to not only include a wide cast of characters in front of the camera, but want the same for behind the camera as well.
I work alongside my business partner, who's also my dear friend, Nita Chowdhury. Together, we develop, create, and write stories and produce stories for scripted television. At Stranger Magic Productions, we deliver high-quality, diverse content, and we like to tell the stories of everyday people around us, so that's why we call it Stranger Magic.
For most of their lives, Yumna Khan and Nita Chowdhury lived in the OC, going to college and eventually starting a production company. With their experiences in the OC, they have tried to fight for minority and women's rights in film as well as out of film.
The reason we created a production company and we made a show and we crowdfunded was because we don't get the opportunities like everyone else. Being a woman of color and a person of color, opportunities are limited. In college, I started to look back at why what the traces were, like, led me to this point, and representation was lacking.
With their production company Stranger Magic, they plan to release a new scripted dramedy TV show about a South Asian Muslim American family in Orange County, California, trying to keep it together.
Unfair and Ugly, we talk about a lot of taboo topics that people usually wouldn't talk about in the immigrant community, and some of those themes include racism within our immigrant community, relationships between immigrant parents and millennial children, because half the time we don't see eye to eye with our parents, and we wanted to kind of highlight that in our show. With all of these themes, we hope it creates like conversation and allows people to discuss these topics within their own families.
I already have someone that I want to marry.
Is she Pakistani?
No.
Things were kind of rough after graduating, right? Yeah. We're all like low-key depressed. Yeah. My friends think my life is perfect. Like I'm supposed to know exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Unfair and Ugly will be releasing soon to the public.
Nida and I are constantly developing, and we have a few shows that we want to make for 2018 in the process in our pipeline.
They started on their home turf and have branched out to Los Angeles and New York to try to spread their message. Unfair and Ugly is being optioned to many production companies, including the likes of Netflix, Amazon, and even Hulu as a small web series. Starting from an OC-based Nita and Yumna's reach has lengthened and will be sure to keep on growing for their production company and minorities in film.
To see an LA-based production company dedicated to underrepresented communities. If you want to know more about Stranger Magic Productions or their show Unfair and Ugly, you can check them out at www.strangermagic.com. Now, I'm excited to present to you a school in Laguna Hills dedicated to educating children with autism spectrum disorder. New Vista School's Media Arts program is giving students the opportunity to learn developmental key social skills through an artistic medium.
In Laguna Hills, California, New Vista School has been specializing in serving the needs of students with autism spectrum disorder in Orange County for over a decade. This little blue schoolhouse has recently gained some recognition for their media arts program. In this program, the students at New Vista School create their own short films which they write, direct, and edit themselves.
I mostly do editing, so I would take the footage and I would edit it and put it in the correct places so that it actually looks like a movie, not as a bunch of footage. But I do help with the mic sometimes, and I do help direct and just general stuff, if it needs to be done, I'll do it.
This massive program actually had a very humble beginning, originating from the school's lunchtime drama club.
We tried to put on stage plays, and the students just were not interested in stage plays. There's a lot of memorization that goes into stage plays, and there's a lot of repetition of the entire play itself, and the students were not enjoying that process. And so one of the students came to me and said, let's start making movies. And I said, that's a wonderful idea.
They're sitting, and then they're both frozen.
From this original concept, the entire media arts program emerged. The program features a social skills course built around the media arts, as well as an introduction to acting and performing. Students can then progress into the after-school media arts club, the ones responsible for creating the New Vista School Film Fest.
He was obviously lying.
How do you do that?
Do what?
The voice thing.
Oh, you can hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
The NVS Film Fest is an annual film festival held every year at the Triangle Square Cinema in Costa Mesa. At this much anticipated event, the students have the opportunity to show off their months of hard work, talent, and dedication to their family and friends, as well as the general public.
They get to see their dreams basically come to life on the big screen.
Students who participate in the Media Arts program and Film Fest gain a tremendous amount of personal confidence and pride in their abilities that lives on long after the Film Fest is over. Students not only see their imagination brought to life on the big screen, but they learn to envision how to incorporate these skills into their lives after school.
The biggest change that I've noticed in the students' lives has been in their social skills and their ability to work on a project together, to be able to get through and problem solve situations that arise where, with the creative process, you have all these ideas coming together into one space and there's going to be conflict. So how do you work through that conflict? The reason this program is such a great fit for the school is that we actually have a social skills program at the school where the students are learning how to get through those conflicts, how to work with peers. And as they work together on these projects, they're able to apply those skills that they've learned.
They've taught me how to do job interviews and taught me how to be more socially adept and have better conversations with people, which is really helpful. I mean, not just here, but everywhere. And then drama has helped me to better manage my emotions and to be able to express those emotions when it's necessary to express them.
My favorite part of drama club was that we got to do some awesome games, and then we were able to communicate, and I was able to communicate with my friends.
For more information, visit www.newvistaschool.org.
The Media Arts Department and Film Festival at New Vista looks like it really has made a positive impact in these students' lives. If you'd like more information about the program or the Laguna Hills-based school, you can visit their website at newvistaschool.org. We have to go to a quick commercial break, but when we return, we'll be going over some more exciting college news. Don't go anywhere. We're back. Welcome to The Scoop. I'm your host, Ashley White. Here at Saddleback, we recently had the opportunity to sit down with a representative of one of the One Book, One College program people, during which they discussed upcoming and present events centered around the new book recently selected for the spring semester. Let's get some insight.
Making a meaningful change in one's community can be a daunting task. However, the One Book, One College program strives to do just that, one book at a time. We recently sat down to speak with Dr. Jane Horlings, part of the One Book program, as she recalls the recent panel discussion that was hosted in HS 145, which touched on the issues of homelessness and poverty.
We had a great panel. We had a number of people who are either involved in helping persons who are homeless or temporarily displaced in Orange County. And we also had 2 students from Saddleback who shared their experience. And I think that was probably the most eye-opening to myself and to the students and employees of the college who were listening to this, because it helped dispel some of the myths that we have about homelessness, both in the students' experiences and the other panelists.
One Book, One College selections are chosen for how they can be utilized in community panels that discuss pressing issues on a local and global scale. This year's book selection is Undocumented, a Dominican Boy's Odyssey from a Homeless Shelter to the Ivy League by Danelle Padilla Peralta. In addition to One Book, One College's involvement directly on Saddleback campus, the program is also working with the Mission Viejo Library for a speaking engagement with the author. Saddleback will also be working with the Culinary Arts Department to celebrate this momentous occasion with a Dominican-style breakfast, set to take place on Tuesday, April 24th at the McKinney Theater, followed by a book signing and discussion. Upcoming panels will examine such topics as racism, social barriers, immigration, and overcoming obstacles. For more information about the One Book program, as well as events and activities, log on to saddleback.edu/OB1C.
Be sure to pick up a copy of Undocumented to join the conversation for this year's One Book, One College program. You can find more information about the program's upcoming events and activities at www.saddleback.edu/OB1C. Moving forward, we're going to send it over to Michael Sines for this week's Saddleback College faculty interview. We had the great pleasure of speaking with Cadence Winter, Dean of Fine Arts and Media Technology.
Hello, I'm Michael Sines, and today on The Scoop, we're lucky to have the Dean of Fine Arts and Media Tech Division, Cadence Winter. Cadence, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And to roll into the question that I have here for you, what does being the Dean of Fine Arts and Media Division entail?
Okay, the role of the Dean is an administrative role, largely. So there are lots of instructional deans, well I say lots, about 9 instructional deans in the college, and each one is responsible for a different area. So as Dean of Fine Arts and Media Technology, there are 7 departments, including this one, cinema, TV, radio, that's all one department. We also have a music department with 7 areas of specialty, so jazz, choral, commercial music, that kind of thing. We also have a theatre arts department that is split between theatre arts, which essentially people understand as acting, and the ETT courses, the entertainment technology courses. So they do things like stagecraft, set designs, that kind of thing, actually create them, build them, so students learn those kinds of skills. We also have the speech department, where communication is the primary concern, and then specialty areas. So we have a debate team, the forensics team, although I think they're thinking of changing the name. Forensics isn't quite what people understand by forensics. And then we have the art department with those areas of specialty as well. So ceramics, 2D, 3D, metal craft, those kinds of... So being Dean of Fine Arts and Media Technology, it's a very complex division, lots of moving parts, never a dull moment. And it's for me, it's been very interesting, very exciting.
Wow, that's really interesting. And how does that differ from what you did professionally in the past?
My academic background is history, and I am particularly an oral historian. And so I'm interested in the migrant experience. And as an immigrant myself to the US, it's amazing how much you take for granted in your home environment. And though you have to do certain things in wherever you live, housing, education, and so on, it's really interesting. It's been interesting to me how different it is from one country to another. So when I'm interviewing people who have experienced migration, there are similarities, and yet the experience can be so different, for better and for worse.
Wow, that's really fascinating. And given that we have some of the declining issue with enrollment across the board, what does that mean for the Media and Arts Division?
Well, let me put it into context. We can see that there have been declining enrolments, not just here at this college or this region, South Orange County. It's a statewide. In fact, it's a national trend that we're seeing, and I think that's probably because the people we would expect to come to college are questioning whether they need to attend college or whether they can make their way in the world without incurring the expense of college. And so that's another argument for community colleges, that students would come to a community college, have the opportunity to complete the first 2 years of their 4-year degree at a much lower cost, and then transfer to a 4-year institution if that's what they want to do. That's just looking at people who are interested in 4-year degrees, having a bachelor's degree and moving on. But there are other skills that you can acquire just by coming to college. And then, of course, just coming to college for the sheer enjoyment of learning.
Yes.
So.
And it's been a joy just having you here speaking with us today. And I appreciate your eloquence and your time here today. And my name is Michael, and this is Cadence Winter of the Division of Fine Arts and Media. And this has been an enlightening and joyous occasion. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for interviewing Dean Cadence Winter about her passion towards the Fine Arts and Media Technology programs. And a big thank you to Dean Winter for coming in and sharing her knowledge with us. We're going to go to another quick commercial break, but stay tuned for an interview with student filmmaker David Nichols Jr., only on The Scoop.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to 4-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We dedicate ourselves to excellence in academics, student support, and community service. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Ashley White, with The Scoop. And it's time for the Saddleback Filmmaker Spotlight, where we're introducing you to the cinematic pioneers of Saddleback. This episode, we have David Nichols Jr. discussing his film, Not This Again.
In LA, it's where I went to acting school at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. School was over, I was just auditioning, acting, and I ended up having to have some surgeries because I have ulcerative colitis.
It's okay, it's okay, I'm here. I'm here.
I need to get in the shower.
Okay.
Can you move? Can you grab the sheet?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Go into making the film, or even just thinking about what it's going to be and writing it, knowing that their Newport Beach Film Festival has a Saddleback showcase every year.
So the best films get to go there, and you hope that yours ends up being one of the ones that's chosen. This one was a really personal story for me because it's semi-autobiographical, where a lot of these things had happened to me while dealing with my surgeries. The thing that I wanted to do for sure was tell it from switch protagonists, so it's not just my point of view. I tried to think in terms of the other person. I really wanted to show how the people who love you have to help take care of you, but also show how you have to take care of yourself.
Sit around feeling sorry for yourself instead of getting up and doing something about anything, and I can't. I can't take care of you if you're not willing to take care of yourself.
Working with a great crew and people that you like is just makes it amazing, and we have that on this film, and it made all the difference.
In times it can be difficult to put ourselves in other people's shoes. This heartfelt film is an eye-opening experience that brings awareness to a worthy cause. Thank you, David, for working hard and expressing your adversity with ulcerative colitis. You have captured a lesson of life that we can all learn from. With the strong storytelling capability of our Saddleback students, it's no surprise that David's film, Not This Again, was chosen to be featured in the Saddleback Showcase at the Newport Beach Film Festival. The festival is running from April 26th to May 3rd. Be sure to check it out. Lastly, we have a musical treat for you by accomplished local musician Donovan Raitt. Donovan is an Irvine native who has been playing the guitar since he was 11 years old. Currently, he's released 2 solo acoustic albums. He has joined us to perform an elegant and relaxed approach to fingerstyle guitar. Here he is with a live improv of one of his original songs. We were so fortunate to have Donovan's talented performance in our studio. It was really a joy to experience. If you enjoyed Donovan's style as much as I did, go show him some love over at donovanrate.com. There you can download his music, find upcoming show dates, or contact Donovan for booking. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left for this episode. Thank you all so much for joining this week on The Scoop. We want to take a quick moment to thank Stranger Magic Productions in LA and New Vista School's Media Arts program for allowing us to showcase their effort in making a positive impact across a multitude of communities. Thank you, Dr. Jane Orlings, for taking the time to discuss Undocumented, a Dominican boy's odyssey from a homeless shelter to the Ivy League, as well as Cadence Winter, Dean of Fine Arts and Media Technology, for sitting down with us. We also thank student filmmaker David Nichols Jr. and local musician Donovan Rate for broadcasting their talent this episode. I've been your host, Ashley White. Tune in next week to get the scoop on Orange County.